Hi guys, so this week has been, how can I put it, somewhat problematic for Boris Johnson. He's had to deal with WhatsApp messages leaked by his former advisor Dominic Grieve, where he called his own health secretary Matt Hancock totally effing hopeless. While the leader of the opposition didn't make hay of that, unfortunately, I really hoped he would have done that, the issue was eventually raised by the shadow health secretary. Towards the end of the week, he faced a defeat, a massive one, in a by-election at the hands of the Lib Dems. This was a Tory seat that had been held by them since 1974. So while Boris Johnson has been focusing on winning low information voters in the north, perhaps other parties are finding ways to turn the south any colour but blue. Now, you're going to hear from Dominic Grieve, former Attorney General and permanent thorn in Boris Johnson's side. Let's hear what he had to say about this Tory defeat.
I think that the result in Chesham and Amersham was predictable. And indeed, all the information I was picking up from friends who lived there in the last 3 weeks, and indeed in my old constituency, suggested to me that this was going to be the outcome. And this has happened not just because of HS2 or because of Greenbelt issues, though doubtless that's played a part. It's because this is a pretty sophisticated electorate that knows what a fraudulent prospectus is. And they have a very low opinion of the Prime Minister, and they consider him to be a charlatan. And this is, I think, quite a widespread view amongst a certain section of the electorate that has consistently voted Conservative all their lives, because this is a deeply Conservative area with a small c. And that's the fundamental problem that the Conservative Party's got. They have a Prime Minister who appears to have an appeal to some sections of the electorate because he's optimistic, he's sunny, he's outgoing, and towards another group who perhaps take life a little bit more seriously, he comes across extremely badly, and it's got much, much worse.
I couldn't agree more. If you look at how many people, for example, Hartlepool, many of the people who were interviewed in Hartlepool, not all of them, but many of them had said that they like Boris Johnson because he's a bit rough around the edges. He's a bit of a clown, but I'm going to vote for him anyway. Or he's a man of the people, was one suggestion by one potential voter. The idea that, and this is a valid point raised by Dominic Grieve, low information voters like what Boris Johnson is on the surface. They don't really care about policy. They don't care about how he's running the country. They like him because he's a bit of a buffoon. They don't like stiff politicians. While it seems in the south of England, now I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what Dominic Grieve seems to be saying, is that the voters are a bit more sophisticated, or the ones who used to vote for the Conservative Party are more sophisticated, and they have decided we don't want anything to do with Boris Johnson. Now, I think if Boris Johnson was replaced with Michael Gove, for example, or Rishi Sunak, you would see a switch back. You would see traditionally these blue blocks, these blue walls would return to voting for the Conservatives, and you would see the red wall returning to vote for the Labour Party, because I think in the quote-unquote working class who read the Daily Mail or the Sun, they like Boris Johnson because of his style. They don't care about the substance. They don't care about the policies. They vote for Boris because he's a bit rough around the edges. While the Conservatives in the South, who would normally vote for the Conservative Party, don't like Boris Johnson's new style. They were happy with the rollout of the vaccine, but that has come to an end now, pretty much. He was being propped up because of the rollout of the vaccine. As we're returning to some sort of normality, we're returning to politics as usual. And it seems that people in the South, who Dominic Grieve described as sophisticated, care about policies, care about having a leader who's competent, who's not an embarrassment. While it seems that perhaps working class voters, and I don't like to use the term working class voter, I prefer low information voters, because some working class voters care about policies, care about what the Prime Minister represents. The low information voters I'm talking about, people who just read the Sun or the Daily Mail, who don't understand the consequences of Brexit, for example, and don't care, these people like Boris Johnson. And if Boris Johnson is removed, replaced with Gove or Sunak, those people are going to flock back to the Labour Party, I'm pretty sure. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?